I think more than anything, I'm just really excited. I think this is a dream. This is something I wrote down on a piece of paper when I was in second grade, get a basketball scholarship, play in the WNBA. This is always something I wanted to do.
It was my amour. Tonight, it's Caitlin Clark inspiring that next generation.
Oh, really cool shot of her elementary school.
Ooh, a little different than basketball press conference. A lot of media in here today. I guess I'm gonna start with y'all today, right now. First off, I just thank y'all for covering me and all the exposure that you gave me.
After playing nice with the WNBA, Caitlin Clark is finally coming clean about all the sleazy things they've been doing behind the scenes. They have attempted to keep her out of the spotlight, minimize her accomplishments, and sideline her since day one. She is now clapping back, though. Caitlin has seen Brittney Griner having everything handed to her since the day she was drafted. Red carpet treatment, promotions, and headlines. And Caitlin remained silent the entire time. She maintained her composure despite being treated like a punching bag both on and off the court. However, it is no longer the case, since Caitlin is describing it as such. Her brilliance was never the only factor in this. Who the league wants to shine was the topic of discussion. And to your amazement, it's not her. They have been behaving as though she doesn't even exist while she is out here shattering records and bringing the WNBA out of the shadows. Their entire media tour revolved around Brittney Griner's return.
Full swing. I heard that season tickets are going like blazes in Indiana. Have you heard that rumor?
I have heard that rumor. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think they're selling pretty well.
Highlight reels, sit-down interviews, ESPN specials, the entire nine. Additionally, Caitlin was the one attracting fans who had previously shown no interest in the WNBA and selling out arenas during that time. They ignored her nonetheless. The league immediately moved into promotion mode for Griner once more after removing her from the All-Star starter list. All eyes are suddenly on her as if she were the second coming. Let's face it though, Caitlin is the reason why people are purchasing tickets and traveling to see her performances. Every week, she gains more and more followers. Nevertheless, they continue to act as though she isn't the most well-known player in the game at the moment. It's obvious, not simply messed up. Reporters themselves are unable to.
One of the really great things about this season has been watching all of the little kids, most of them little girls, who are so inspired to play basketball because of you. What does that mean to you?
I think that's the reason you do it, and just to see them scream your name or have your jersey on, that's something that never...
Caitlin was told directly by one of them that she is the reason Indiana's season ticket sales are hitting all-time highs. Why, therefore, does the league continue to act as though she doesn't exist? This is where things get really shady. ESPN's mid-season rankings were lowered. And you know what? Caitlin dropped all the way from the top preseason place to number 9. And they made an effort to act as though it didn't matter. However, everyone can see what's happening. Brittney continues to hold a prominent position, as if the entire narrative had been pre-written. Additionally, don't misunderstand. This goes beyond statistics. In every game, Caitlin has been playing under pressure. Crowds were sold out. Every action was noted, analyzed, and turned into a headline. However, they subtly moved her down the rankings as if she didn't deserve the crown in place of giving her credit. The league then used their well-known justification to hit everyone. We are paying tribute to the veterans. Please, that is shade, not respect.
Felt that frustration that you all were feeling that frustration. So what did you see from her and able to really lead that charge?
I mean, she brings that energy every single day, so really happy for her.
Caitlin has also finished acting as though she is blind to it. She ultimately made a mistake after yet another game in which the attention was more on who shoved her than on the plays she really made. She was questioned about what it's like to be under such strain. She also didn't dismiss it for once. She spoke plainly and appeared really exhausted. I'm annoyed. Everything was stated in that instant. For too long, she had been biting her tongue. What's crazy is that she hasn't called names, chastised players for fouling her, or criticized the league or other athletes. She maintains her composure and simply returns to her game, even as reporters attempt to pull her into the respect discussion.
I would have rather been in a 2-a-day dying, and than to be where I was. So just looking forward to being back to that. Am I exactly where I want to be? No, but I'm on the right track to getting there. That's for sure. I will say.
Fans, however, see the entire setup as plain as day. They observe how the league defends their preferred candidates while pretending that Caitlyn should just accept the consequences and grin. People are also fed up with it. Comments such as, "Until Caitlyn arrived, I never watched a game." Millions of people probably feel the same way, are exploding everywhere. Fan hype isn't the only thing. That's the truth. They treat her as a lucky rookie, despite the fact that she has added significant value to the league. And even though you think that's awful, it gets worse.
All of this stuff adds up. People always want to just use like the really big fouls that don't get called. It's like, oh my God, can you believe this wasn't gonna get called? The reason why I'm really trying to highlight this is because this is what goes on all game. Every single game. Every single possession. It's endless. And it will wear you down. Wear you down.
The league's subsequent actions were not only dubious, but also heartless. They gave Brittney the limelight once more as if it were a prearranged award ceremony. It has been a full-blown grinder fest ever since she returned from that scenario in Russia. With a heartfelt redemption story, ESPN portrayed her comeback as the salvation of women's basketball. Furthermore, nobody is denying that she had any hardship. Despite the seriousness of what transpired abroad, the league is obviously trying to position her as the WNBA spokesperson while ignoring the person who is truly keeping the lights on.
The question I get about you all the time is, how will your game transcend into the WNBA? How do you see that fit?
I think the biggest thing is my passing, and I think that's kind of what people overlooked at times in college, is like people just love the scoring so much, and don't get me wrong, I love shooting the ball, but I think that's the biggest thing, and obviously being surrounded by so much talent, no matter where I end up, is like the league is loaded with so many people, and I think that's something that I've always had a knack for from a very young age. I grew up playing soccer and understanding angles and seeing the game before, it even...
Half the time, no one even calls it when Caitlyn is being fouled out in the middle of the floor, shoved, and elbowed. Take a look at these videos that are circulating to see how frequently she is struck. And nobody seems to give a damn. They are silently treating her as though she is disposable, just letting things happen without making a remark or offering any protection. Right now, there's a comment going around that sums everything up. I believed that I was destroying myself until I learned about the WNBA. It has become that awful. What did Caitlyn gain from increasing the worth of her team, tripling attendance, increasing TV ratings, and assisting in securing a better media deal? Targeted, disregarded, excluded from important awards, and fouled so much that supporters claim it appears deliberate.
Remember why she went to Russia. She went to Russia because they don't make enough money here based on their talents to support themselves. So after a harrowing year, Ms. Griner finally returning to the court, but she's going to take a pay cut to do it after 9 months of wrongful detainment in Russia.
The fans see the playbook, and Caitlyn isn't keeping quiet anymore, so the league can play dumb all at once. It's more than simply drama. This exposure is straight up. The shadowy chaos behind the scoring table was abruptly put to rest by Caitlin Clark. The receipts are also noisy. When the world was watching and the WNBA was receiving its greatest attention in years following the draft, ESPN completely ignored Caitlyn.
In an extensive interview, former WNBA player Candace Wiggins said the league's culture was full of bullying and jealousy. Wiggins told the San Diego Union Tribune that she was frowned upon as a straight woman, claiming 98% of WNBA players are gay, adding, "People were deliberately trying to hurt me all of the time. I'd never been called the B word so many times in my life than I was in my rookie season. I'd never been thrown to the ground so much." The message was, "We want you to know we don't like you." Wiggins believed her pride in being a woman didn't fit.
No sit down during prime time. No unique characteristic. The rookie who just broke NCAA records, Natata, was given the impression that she was being benched. Additionally, don't allow them to pretend that she wasn't available. She completed a pre-draft media run already. Therefore, that quiet was a decision. Take a peek at the pre-draft media day tape. The league purposefully overlooked that when they chose to ignore her rather than stand by her. Angel Reese, meanwhile, was everywhere, closing transactions all over the place. And this is the same Angel that has been seen ranting in interviews, fouling players in the middle of games, and creating a lot of drama, as if she were on a Basketball Wives reunion. However, the league is putting that person front and center somehow. Make sense of it. Because Caitlyn is too laid back, too focused, and too unproactive, she is benched, while Angel is out here causing unrestrained chaos for the league. And that is the foundation upon which they hope to establish their brand. However, it goes beyond favoritism. Let's discuss numbers. Two rookies who are currently essentially carrying the league, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, earn between $76,000 and $80,000 annually. That's all. Despite the fact that they are selling out arenas, making weekly trends, and converting non-fans into ardent supporters. Brittney Griner, meantime, is lounging on a Supermax $215,000 deal. That's insane, even after accepting a 32% pay decrease. Not to mention that the media criticized the WNBA for failing to compensate its stars appropriately when Griner traveled to Russia in order to earn more money. They made brutal headlines. What has changed since then, though? Nothing. Because this is the harsh reality. Not every star is what the WNBA wants. They are looking for a particular kind of photograph. Additionally, you are ignored, silenced, or boxed out if you don't match their mold. This is also nothing new. Do you recall Candace Wiggins? She stated unequivocally that she was bullied out of her league. She didn't fit in not because she was a bad hoofer. She asserted that as soon as she entered the Minnesota locker room, she was targeted.
And why?
Because she disregarded the league's unwritten image guidelines. Avoid becoming overly feminine. Avoid being overly noticeable. Don't be straight for sure. Yes, she did say that. Additionally, Wiggin reacted angrily when a sports journalist attempted to turn the story around on her. And here we are once more. Just a different face, the same mess. It's Caitlyn this time. Connor McCaffrey is her partner. She has discussed him candidly in interviews. And that puts her far from the reputation the league has been cultivating for years, whether people want to acknowledge it or not. It's no secret that the WNBA has embraced LGBTQ branding, which is awesome. They have the right to that. However, Caitlyn becomes an issue when someone from outside that circle begins to pull numbers like her. Thus, while Caitlyn is pushed on the court, elbowed during play, and singled out as though she doesn't exist, Brittney receives the royal treatment. The referees simply let it happen when Trinity Carter blindsides her with a cheap shot and Angel screams in her face in the middle of the game. It was best expressed in one online comment. Even while the referees are seeing directly at Caitlin Clark being physically beaten and abused on the court,